Oh, wow.
Anyways, if you're a fucking dolphin porpoise expert, leave us a little speak pipe. Tell us what the difference is.
Yeah, well, then also type in woman marries dolphin.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, gee.
Woman marries dolphin. I fucking know that's a thing. It could have been a dude, though. Like, literally.
That's pretty weird.
Like, that's, yeah. You think?
Well, there's a lot of human-animal relationships that are probably not normal.
Married a dolphin named Cindy, so she's lesbian.
But oh, my goodness.
Hola, cholas and chicas. I'm with my essays right now. Both of them are pretty loco off their feet. That's Hernandez. And that's Rique.
Soy Hernandez.
Hey, how you doing? They're crazy, man, but we just want to let you know that we appreciate your support. And most importantly, enjoy the podcast. Enjoy the podcast!
Sí.
I couldn't do that voice if I wanted. Enjoy the podcast!
No. You kind of have to be below.
That's these guys out here.
You got to be below 25 years old.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I might strain something.
You
if
might
I
got to
get
grab
there.
your set and then go.
Try to hit that note.
Yeah. Now we have Emily. She'll have to do some voiceovers.
Hey, that's a good idea.
Yep.
Maybe she's got a few in the hole.
Got to put that on your notes, Emily. We need a new intro.
You got to get involved.
We usually have some bullshit to talk about.
I guess you get it. So Emily is our new Rhett / our new Jamie.
Say that slowly again.
Emily is our new Rhett / Jamie.
Yes. So now instead of blaming Rhett and Luke, we blame Emily for all the mess ups.
Yeah, today's her second day, so trial by fire.
Well, and you got to bear with her. She's got to come up to speed, and then she'll be great.
Yeah.
We know Luke's been fucking it up for years. We can't go backwards. She'll only do better.
He's over here trying to be all protective and shit too. I say you got to lay off that shit. Let her get in there.
Yeah, she's got to get in the fight.
Yeah.
So we're leaving a week from yesterday to go to Africa. So it'll just be her and Owen here to run the ship. Be interesting.
Yeah.
It's like, you have this little baby that is Shoot2Hunt, and then you go away and you have no concept of being able to help it. And you're like, oh, fuck, I hope it makes it.
Well, we'll be recording a bunch of podcasts. We're going red sand safaris in South Africa, leaving Monday it's 2 days of travel each way, and then 6 days of hunting.
Oh, that's going to be awesome.
Oh yeah. But we'll probably record. It's kind of a marketing deal with them. We do a video and stuff and do some podcast work, but, we'll be doing lots of podcasts over there. So technically we're contributing.
Yes. Have you been to Africa?
I have not.
Me neither.
I've been in California. It kind of feels like a different world, but.
Yeah, Jake knows all about that.
It is a different world.
There's not a lot. Well, I guess if you go to the zoo, there's giraffes there, but
yeah,
not everybody else. But
anyways,
we'll be fine.
I don't want to talk about giraffes. It's a sensitive subject.
Yeah. So Jake has this hierarchy of animals, and giraffe is one of them. You've explained it before. Can you tell our guest here what you're thinking about why it's like
a majestic thing? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Majestic animal. Of course, you could also call elk majestic, but I love to shoot elk. I don't really know. So I just got done telling them the land. I've already told this story too many times. Land Before
Chris
Time.
Has not heard it.
The Land Before Time is a animated movie. It was done in 1988 because we just looked up this date. We were looking at. Have you ever seen it? Land Before Time.
Yep. Yeah, I grew up on Land Before Time.
Perfect. How old are you?
Littlefoot, 37.
Dude, so we're all you're old, but we're all perfect here. So 41, 37, 52?
46,
50,
I think.
46.
Maybe. No, I'm older than that. 47.
So his mom dies, and the brontosaurus, I was going to say brachio, the brontosaurus has a similar shape to a giraffe to me. And it's got like this long, flowy neck that kind of falls to the ground as she dies and her head hits. And there's something about that long neck thing that just rubs me weird. Just like the zebra horse thing. Like zebras are supposed to be delicious. This is what I hear anyway. But when it would come time to pull the trigger on a zebra, I don't know. It's like the horse. Because you wouldn't eat a horse.
No. Like in any of us who have used mules in the backcountry where they've busted our asses for us, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have a hard time thinking about that. Now a cow, for some reason, I've been, kicked and bucked and, everything with that. I have no problem eating hamburger, but yeah horse, mule, any of that.
And there's probably nothing to it. It's my personal feelings.
I'm the outcast because I would not only shoot horses and I own mules, I would eat horse meat. No problem.
Maybe if you had to.
There's so many wild ones fucking up elk habitat and deer habitat. I'd stack them like cordwood.
But okay, well, horse meat is, I guess maybe if you went to South Africa, you might see horse meat or zebra meat on a menu at a restaurant or whatever. But when you're not used to seeing something on a menu, You're not, you know, it's not part of your.
I get it, but
culture.
it also like it's kind of like, you know, a whole nother subject we talked about with slippery slope with the gays. We don't want to get into that again.
Oh shit! You
But
just started it.
That slippery slope with the gays, and now we have fucking trannies going into girls' bathrooms. That's the slippery slope you get into when you talk about this animal is put on a pedestal. Nobody gives a fuck about fish. You can just murk a fucking fish. But as soon as you start talking about zebras and fucking bears and whatever the species is, then we have this problem with it. And that's where you let that slippery slope with those antis, and they try to grab that and take it a mile.
Yeah. Maybe there's something about the intelligence of an animal too.
Well, I mean, I guess we aren't out whacking dolphins, so I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You don't see a dolphin the same way you see a fish.
I don't.
I mean, what are they, a porpoise?
A porpoise?
I think a dolphin is
dolphin?
a porpoise. It's not actually a fish.
Emily, type in what is a dolphin? But
No, it's like what species, like
what is a dolphin? It's a porpoise.
It's like its base species, or I don't know.
Did you see that person that married a dolphin? We're getting way off fucking.
Whoa, man.
Like she married, I think it was a gal. I don't know, maybe a dude, but they married a dolphin.
No shit.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, I guess I mean, they say the dolphin is the only animal that's smarter than a human. And maybe there's, you know, maybe they were like a trainer or whatever. And over a course of 5 or 10 years, they develop a relationship and
something like that. But I would also dispute that Buzz is smarter than most humans. My dog Buzz.
Oh yeah.
Border Collie.
Oh yeah.
Because sometimes I say shit to him and he looks at me like, man, you're a dumb motherfucker.
That's funny.
Representing species. It's aquatic mammal.
What does it say up there though? It says, I see lifespan. It says orca.
Whoa, there we go.
Aquatic mammal. All right. So it's a mammal.
Yeah. I was talking about brain power.
I think there's something else. What's a porpoise? What a porpus?
Enhance your shooting experience with STOCKY'S stocks. Are you tired of struggling with mediocre rifle stocks that hinder your performance? Imagine having a high-quality rifle stock that not only enhances your accuracy, but also provides superior strength and a lightweight build. STOCKY'S Stocks offers a wide range of premium rifle stocks manufactured with hand layup carbon fiber construction, a patented carbon fiber AccuBlock, and multiple finish options. Whether you're a long-range shooter or a hunting enthusiast, our stocks are perfect for you. Experience unmatched precision and durability with STOCKY'S stocks. We provide stock installation instructions, technical support, and guidance to help you choose the right stock for your rifle. Upgrade your shooting game today with STOCKY'S stocks.
You know, it's a badass, those orcas.
Dude, killer whales or something else.
Oh, and they're knocking boats out of the
Oh,
water.
yeah.
That's
Yes.
freaking up. Like some whale one time's like, hey, guys, watch this.
I think anything that has coordinated hunting in the wild, it could be
A wolf.
jackals, it could be wolves, anything that coordinates while they're hunting their prey, I think is pretty fucking badass.
Could be.
Because that's some serious intelligence.
Yeah. Yeah, they hound them up like those, you know, they watch those, what are little dogs called in Africa? We might see some, they're the
Oh, the wild dogs.
dingoes, wild dogs. Man, they're not very big. They have to hunt in packs.
Yeah.
And they're good at it.
Yeah.
But I don't know, dude.
I think that's
don't
part
know.
of what's in a Rhodesian Ridgeback is that's where they get that strip down their back is it's part dingo. I know it's at least some wild dog.
I thought you could say it's part porpoise.
But fucker. I don't know. Okay,
Got a
there you go.
fin on it. It's running through the brush.
Look.
It's got a freaking fin on it.
Look at porpoise.
Dolphin
I spelled it
versus
wrong, too.
porpoise. Can you click on that one that says dolphin versus porpoise? Porpoise? I'm not saying
The
that
picture.
right. The picture. There you go. Right there.
40 species, 7 species. So it's basically a fucking dolphin.
Which one's
That ran into a wall. Looks like it says a flatter face.
Yeah. It was like a.
Oh, wow.
Anyways, if you're a fucking dolphin porpoise expert, leave us a little speak pipe. Tell us what the difference is.
Yeah, well, then also type in woman marries dolphin.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, gee.
Woman marries dolphin. I fucking know that's a thing. It could have been a dude, though. Like, literally.
That's pretty weird.
Like, that's, yeah. It's, you think?
Well, there's a lot of human-animal relationships that are probably not normal.
Married a dolphin named Cindy, so she's lesbian.
But oh, my goodness. We need to get something on track here. This is horrible.
I mean, I'm learning all sorts of things.
right there.
Chris is like, what? I thought we were here to talk about elk.
Oh, you're
Well,
just wrong.
I mean,
Go back to the other one. Go back to the
The
other
more
one.
you know, I guess.
Yeah.
Dude,
The true story of a Jew who married a dolphin.
good Lord.
You can't make this shit up.
That's
man.
a headline.
You remember I talked about slippery slope? Now we went all the way to dolphin.
We're sliding to the bottom. We're picking up speed.
A lesbian dolphin.
A lesbian dolphin, obviously named Cindy.
Yeah.
Wow. I really seen it almost.
You know what Emily's out there thinking right now? She's like, what the fuck did I get myself into?
Why did I sign up for this job?
She should have watched some episodes before she should have applied for this job.
In fact, maybe I think she told us she listened to one. It just must have been the right one.
Yeah, and I don't know what it is. Like we hear these stories and then like people, I listened to your podcast. And then you go to talk to them and they're like a church pastor or, in the church and then like Emily went on missions. You're like, oh, we're corrupting these poor people.
Unfortunately, we have a lot of words that slip out unintentionally.
Yes.
Or intentionally, depends on probably the circumstance.
Yes.
Like Jake we did the Ha event. And the first time Jake saw himself really on film, and he walked down the tent and he goes, "Oh my God, I said fuck a lot."
We did like a hunt preview video out here, and there's like this tent full of people, and we got done, and I'm in the back, and I ducked out. The F word was dropped a lot, and I guess if you're out in the middle of the woods, it's just I guess the basic U's coming out, and the group that you're with, or
it's one of those
levels.
words you can use anywhere.
Yes,
adjective, verb, noun,
sentence enhancer.
Yeah, exactly.
Like on SpongeBob.
And we're very passionate about it when we're out there, right? So I get maybe that's the reason it comes out more often.
Yeah. Have you done any video? Have you done any videos, self-videoed, or had personal?
A little bit. I did some of it before they changed some of the rules, and then I found out that I was going to get in trouble for videoing without a permit.
Oh.
So I took and pumped the brakes on some of that stuff because I was just wanting to share stuff I was doing for fun, and Elk Addicts kept growing.
Mm-hmm.
And suddenly when things start growing, the Karens grow with it.
Mm-hmm.
And suddenly the no big deal to take a little video just to share an experience suddenly turns into did you have a permit, and are you trying to do this commercially? It's like, no, I was just trying to share what
they asked you.
I love. Oh, I was brought to my attention. Somebody was after I'd posted a couple videos on some.
I got a couple theories about that.
We should have introduced our guest before we get too much further.
You're not. Today I'm the color commentator and you're the host. So you got to introduce him.
We have here Chris Horton.
Yep.
Horton.
Here's a Who. Famous
Horton,
from Dr. Seuss.
Yes.
Easy to remember.
Yeah. So he's with Elk Addicts would be considered a brand, a business,
It really all started as I created a Facebook group because I loved to elk hunt.
I see your Facebook the Facebook group has a ton of members.
Yeah, it's a little over 124,000 people.
Mm-hmm.
And the day I started, I thought, wow, it'd be really cool if this hit 10,000 people one day.
Yeah.
That was before I realized what it was like to try to manage 124,000 different opinions.
Ryan's got a little bit of that experience.
Yeah. Not that you've ever dealt with anything like that, right? Yeah, and it really just started as the opportunity to talk elk hunting, share experiences, to try to help people be more successful. Before I started Elk Addicts, I was a guide with Deadwood Outfitters, southern end of the Frank Church there in Idaho. And I ran into a lot of people showing up who had no idea anything about what they were doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did absolutely no research on the country, the type of gear they needed to have. I had guys showing up in non-waterproof trail runners to elk hunt end of October into November in the Frank Church.
Like on horseback or fly in?
Well, so the way we used to run it is we'd use horses to get up high elevation, and then a lot of times hunt, horizontally, and then hunt your way down, and then get picked up somewhere. So it's not easy country, right? Anywhere in the Frank is big, it's steep, it's nasty. Every bottom has a creek. Like, you got snow brush in lower elevations. You got snow that shows up sometimes in September.
Mm-hmm.
You need a pair of footwear, and the quickest way to ruin a hunt is poor footwear. You can get away with pants on a lot. You can get away with jackets on a lot. You can even get away on backpacks on a lot. The one thing you can't get away with is your feet. Your feet go bad, your hunt's done, right? And that I saw, unfortunately, more times than I care to admit. And, the idea of creating the group really all came around sharing information, right? The social media is supposed to be sharing information. It's supposed to be allowed to, teach people or share opinions or knowledge that we've made mistakes on, or good experiences, bad experiences. Anymore, sometimes it seems like it's just a dick measuring contest. But
so is that group, is it like its own little forum within Facebook?
Yeah. So Facebook has, of course, your page, right? And then you can make little company pages. You can make private groups. So everybody has to be approved to join. And I have some simple questions on there, like to be able to join, like, what is a male elk called? Like, if you can't answer that question, you probably shouldn't be in an elk group. Another one is to create a little bit of, do you know anything? Is tell me what's wrong with this sentence. And I said the herd of doe elk are feeding in the meadow. Like, tell me what's wrong with this. If you know anything about elk, it's a cow, not a doe. So little things like that. So we basically have 124,000 people that we've vetted, essentially. It's not an open group. You can't just join. You can't just approve people. It have to be approved by myself or my mods, my admins. I have a great group of people who help me with it, because there's no way I could handle that much with me. And it all started from there. I never expected it to grow to the size it is today. I never expected it to get as well known as it is. It's been fun. I've been, took my son up shooting the other night. Somebody I'd never met before came up and said, "Hey, are you Chris with Elk Addicts?" And they sat and we told elk stories with my son and him for 30 minutes. We didn't even shoot the bows, right? For a while. We burned a little more time. We were supposed to get back home. But that's where it all came from, was just sharing information to try to make people's elk hunts more successful. As far as what is your success? Doesn't necessarily mean punching a tag, but having fun, having a good time, enjoying the experience. And that's where it all came from.
Do you have are you able to tell regionally where people are mostly from that join there? Does it give you a percentage?
Yeah. I mean, our largest population center is Idaho, of course, where that's where I started, where I knew a lot of people. I'd have to look, but Colorado was always a big one. Oregon is a really big one, and one of the biggest cities of where people are from is Portland. Boise is number one, which of course, I live in Meridian. Right next to it, Meridian was like number 3 or 4. So I mean, there's a lot of people locally, but you look at a place like Portland, it's a big area, and no, it's not a pro hunting city, if you would, but there's a lot of people that live there, and there's a lot of elk hunting along the coast there, and a lot of our members are from there.
So you started Elk Addicts basically just to tell the story about elk hunting, your stories.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly hated regular social media, as far as all the just crap that's on it, right? So I literally started a group where I could just said, "Oh, I'm going to go here and just be able to talk elk hunting," and I can kind of ignore what everything else is on social media. First person I added to it was my hunt partner, Justin Castro. And, it's like, cool, we got a group. There's 2 of us. And then fast forward today, and now there's 124,000 people. And I mean,
did you start that at the same time as Instagram, like 9 years ago?
No, Instagram, I started a little later after it. The Instagram, I'd have to look what date the first post was. It was when those Instagram continued to grow, and people said, "Hey, you've got this big Facebook group. Why don't you start an Instagram?" So I started it, and it grew a lot more than I ever expected it to as well. It's almost 33,000 people. And
does it generate income for you?
Not really. Jason Phelps let me design a line of diaphragms. So we sell those. So I make a little bit off that. That helps pay for some of the stuff, things that come with it. Sell some hats, some shirts, I've intentionally not tried to make it a job. I have a job, right? That's what I do for work. I want it to still kind of be fun. It's nice that it makes a little bit of revenue to pay towards hunting, right? Paying for some fuel, paying to be able to buy my son some stuff for gear he may need. Gives me the opportunity to be able to test a lot of gear for people that they'll reach out and say, hey, will you run or try, and give us, insight. That's where I started with EXO all those years ago when Steve started the company. He started 2014, I believe it was. I started that in 2015. We did a lot of hikes together way before everything kind of blew up, as far as the numbers and EXO's business. And, back when Steve, we were doing pizza parties to put packs together and, stuff like that. He didn't even have employees, right? It was, so that's been really the coolest thing about the whole group is being able to build relationships with some of these amazing companies like Exo Mountain Gear. I've been involved with Forlo, which is an American-made camo company out of Montana since they started. Gave me an opportunity to, the owner of it reached out to me and said, hey, we'd like you to test some of this gear and help us design, do this. So it's been super fun to be involved with something that is not common, right? Most hunting gear is all, as far as clothing wise and clothing in general, is made overseas. And so it's been fun to be involved in stuff like that. And that's really where the benefits have come from, is being able to be involved on stuff like that and go abuse stuff and give people honest feedback.
What's the job that pays the bills?
So my real job is I've been in hydraulics, fluid power with oil, for about 22 years now. Grew up in it. Started off as a mechanic at 14, working for my dad. Fast forward, we sold the company in 2018. I went to work for a company called Bailey. We sell and make hydraulic components. So we make pumps, motors, cylinders. It's awesome because I'm in charge of the Northwest. I'm in charge of Alaska, Washington, Oregon, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, and Utah, which are also awesome because those are all big elk hunting and big game states.
Yeah.
So
lots of road trips.
Yeah, lots of road trips. I get the opportunity to meet a lot of people on those trips, to be able to talk elk hunting, visit with different companies when I'm in town with, and be able to see products and, see some really cool country outside of just my local area.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Have you thought about, like, my fear would be with your big group is one day Facebook is saying, fuck off, we're not supporting hunting and turning it off. Have you ever thought about building a forum or thought about having it on your website?
Yeah. I mean, I looked into it. There's some really good forums out there, and it wasn't really I didn't see where I brought a benefit to it.
Gotcha.
Right. The likelihood is at some point, probably they do that. Will it be a bummer because I've invested a lot of time to growing it? Yeah. Is it my whole world that it defines me? No. Like, my wife and children are what do that, and it's been a lot of fun. My hope is that they don't eliminate groups, if you would.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, the hope is still we have the freedom of speech. We got the First Amendment, right? And if you start just axing groups that are completely illegal, you're starting a whole different slippery slope of, that. Where does it end, right? Do they start axing diesel groups because they want everybody to have an EV? Do they start axing fishing groups because it's not nice to poke fish in the mouth with a hook or whatever they want to say? It's
the problem with that is it's a private company, so they don't have to hold
exactly
speech. Just like Rockside, we pretty much allow a lot of things, but it's a private company in the end, and we get to say what's good or bad. And a lot of people tell us we're fucking terrible at it, the way we moderate it.
Yeah,
we get to decide what's on there
or lack thereof.
Or lack thereof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
and
sure you have people say you don't fucking moderate enough, and I'm sure you have people that say you moderate too much.
Oh yeah, we've been called all sorts of names, and you know, my rules are pretty simple. You know, if you're an asshole, you go away. It's really that simple. We got 124,000 people. The amount of people that are in the industry are 99 to 1, right? Now it seems like always that asshole is the one that's the loudest. And as soon as you get rid of one, there's always going to be one that seems to take their place. But as a whole, the industry is a great group of guys who all share a similar passion. Maybe it's elk, maybe it's deer, maybe it's antelope, maybe it's ducks, whatever your, passion is. But at the end of the day, we're all just trying to get to the outdoors. And I think a lot of people have a similar mindset when it comes to that.
And we can talk, Frank. We all know mule deer hunters are losers. Pretty much to a T. Robbie Denning, Dionia Muchastagi, Travis Hobbs. We know those guys, and we know that they just know the elk are better, but they're probably not good at hunting elk, so they stay in the mule deer section.
Yeah,
they're all gonna be like, "You son of a bitch."
Yeah. He's over here straight, spitting straight facts, and I'm not going to argue with him.
He said he's the colorful commentator of today.
Yeah, I mean,
fucking Dione just smashed a tank.
Yeah,
just smashed a tank. And you're talking shit.
But you could argue, I could argue it. I don't know. Jake, I think, is on the elk. So I like anything big is cool. Any deer, any species, but dude, you go up on a big old bull. Elk are just regal looking animals.
I have yet to see a tank of a mule deer in the wild, so I may be swayed one way or the other.
Wait a minute. You said you saw a tank and you showed us a picture, and then you got
that was a tank to me.
Yeah,
I'm talking about your guys' style.
Wait a minute,
tank.
you said you saw one on the road where we went hunting that one time.
Oh yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I have another tank, so we saw one jump in front of the Ranger too in the dark when we were up there 4th of July.
Yeah. To me, mule deer hunters are a cult like following, and I love them to death. I know lots of them, but they all seem to have a little bit of the tism.
Well, I'm telling you, how many
they do?
The amount of elk that we've seen, versus the amount of big mule deer that I see, and I gotta say that I think the elk are easier to find.
Well, elk are group animals.
Yeah,
deer, the big bucks. I mean, outside of breeding, they're
just saying that alone makes them
animal.
A little bit better of a hunter, though, don't you think?
What the fuck? Whose side are you on?
I'm just saying, if you barely see mule deer anywhere. Okay, a guy that can consistently kill big tank of a mule deer every year.
This goes to the bigger subject that we talk about, and join in if you want. the Sheep Foundation, they have to guard this species because it's a weak ass species.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the deer is also a mule deer, not whitetail. They're fucking whitetails are everywhere. The mule deer is a weak ass species because there is some other reasons why outside of sheep die, because they're just weak. They get a cold, they die. The deer, we're taking their habitat, blah, blah, blah. But fucking elk are like whitetails. They just fucking keep on hammering.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, well, and that's, you look at where elk winter compared to what deer need to winter. And I think we here in Idaho, they've not managed the deer fantastically as far as mule deer, right? Having grown up here and hunting it as a kid, the amount of deer we see even out in limited areas such as the Owahis, that they're not where they used to be, right? And it's a fork and horn only unit with a hard to draw limited tag.
Mm.
You would think you're going to see a bunch of monster bucks running around out there. When I was a kid, my dad took me out there for my 12-year-old hunt. The first day I saw 27 bucks.
Mm.
I could not shoot a single one. Not a single one of them were fork and horn. It was like the most frustrating hunt as a 12-year-old kid that you could possibly go on, because I can shoot only this little fork and horn. I finally found one the second day and killed my first buck out there. But the first day, I distinctly remember seeing 20. The number has stuck with me for years. 27 bucks. Couldn't shoot a single one. I don't think in the last many years I've ever been out there and seen 27 bucks ever since in the day. I don't hunt really out there anymore, but it's, all has to come down to habitat, right? And management. Because the simple fact is, if we don't manage wildlife, it doesn't matter if it's deer, if it's elk, if it's wolves, if it's bears, if it's cats, things get out of balance. When things get out of balance, something's sliding, something's declining. And you've watched it with the wolf situation. we watched the elk decline, especially up in the area where I guided in the Frank there. And then you saw it coming back because after a few generations of those elk, they're smarter. The ones that have survived have figured it out. They know how to avoid them. It's just a matter of survival, right? It's a slippery slope, right? We want to grow the hunting community, but we also still have a finite resource of how many animals are actually out there and available to still keep populations strong. But that's a whole nother subject you could go spend hours on.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. And I have to admit, and I hate to admit this, but Dione sends me big pictures of elk. Robbie sends me big pictures of elk. Travis Hobbs' wife absolutely smoked a giant elk last year. And you throw like Lampers in there. Lampers kills a lot of big deer and elk. And he said, you know, I have to kind of agree that mule deer are probably hard. Big mule deer are probably harder.
Yeah,
it hurts me.
I know. I see
hurts
it.
me.
I see the pain.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, my son was picking on me last season when I was trying to find him a buck. And because I'm a self-proclaimed not good deer hunter. I mean, I love to elk hunt. I've focused all my time on elk hunting, elk spots. And I finally just told him, I said, look, my deer spots are elk spots that I've seen deer. So, I mean, like,
Me too.
That's a simple fact, right? Versus a Dione, man, that guy has got it down to a science. It's what he lives for. He's a good dude who works really hard. Had the pleasure of doing a couple death hikes with EXO with him. I mean, that guy is fanatical about mule deer.
He's right. He's in the process of writing us a mule deer module for our Shoot2Hunt online university.
Oh, that's gonna be cool.
It's gonna be badass.
Yeah, and it's like out of his, what I appreciate about Dione is it's kind of, I know it's out of his comfort zone, but he still wants to do it. And like I said, and I don't mean the tism in a bad way. He's got that OCD, like it'll be phenomenal, and he's all stressed about it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great.
Well, because he's a perfectionist.
He is a perfectionist.
Yeah.
Yeah. And those mule deer hunters are kind of like Robbie's very anal perfectionist. And right. It's like, I don't know.
This is why you could never be a mule deer hunter.
And mule.
You got to show up on time places.
Mule deer just, they're not, Robbie, we can argue about this too. I don't believe they're that great to eat. So I can,
I'm not a big fan. Yeah. Elk are good to eat. Yeah. But the coolest thing about elk is the ability to communicate with them, right? You're not, I mean, I've rattled a little bit for mule deer in late season for archery, right? I've done a little bit of that, just trying to, but man, elk, you can fully learn to speak an animal language and learn and listen to the way they react and they talk back. I've literally got it in screaming arguments with bulls out there, right? Back and forth. And, to me, that's the coolest thing about elk.
Are you the type of archery hunter that you carry a reed on you like at all times?
I got a reed in my car. I literally
here we go.
Driving in the car today.
All right,
messing around.
Give us a good one, but don't point it at the mic.
Oh yeah, because
here we go.
You're gonna blow your eardrums.
Yeah. I'll get excited.
Did it move a little?
What's that?
I said, did it move a little?
That's a movement.
And that's
Is that your read?
Yeah, that's one of them.
Is it called Elk Addicts or
no? This is our orange one. I've got an orange, white, and red.
We didn't rehearse that. We didn't rehearse that prior to either.
No,
just so everybody knows.
If you know anything about me, we don't rehearse shit in this podcast.
Yeah, I mean, and of course, my first little noise I made out right there, I'm like, oh man, now I'm gonna do this, and people are gonna literally listen to it. So the first little squeak was like, oh, dying elk.
That was stage fright.
Yeah, exactly.
Sounded good to me.
You had to lick it and warm it up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things though that Hawk-Tua. I had to get the Hawk-Tua on it.
I was wondering who would bring that up first. And I didn't know you would bring it up because I didn't know you were coming on until the other day. But I knew it was coming sooner or later.
Yeah, she could be a damn good elk caller.
Well, it's all in that tongue, right?
Hi, I'm Brent Jarbo, CEO of ADG. For the past decade, we've been dedicated to crafting the highest quality, 100% American-made rifle brass to meet all your hunting and long-range shooting needs. This year, we're excited to introduce our new 6.8 Western and 270 WSM cases. With over 250 years of combined industry experience, we're committed to excellence. Look for our distinct orange boxes wherever you buy your reloading supplies. Whenever you need quality rifle cartridge cases, choose ADG Premium Rifle Brass, where precision meets performance.
How about did you draw anything good this year?
I did. I actually. Yeah. So the first time in 12 years, I'm not running with an archery tag. I pulled a muzzleloader tag that opens October 1. So I'm super pumped for that because the elk will still be talking at that point.
Absolutely.
Idaho?
Yep.
Southern Idaho?
Yep.
Cool.
Going to be able to focus on, so my son's 13. He's killed an elk his 10, 11, 12-year-old years. This year, he's really wanting to try to kill a bull with a bow. But, of course, knowing how elk hunting is, the backup is for him to go shoot the PRC again.
Mm-hmm.
His last 3 elk have all been with the 6.5 PRC. And
I hear you're in the market for a new rifle, though.
Yeah, I mean, I really would like to build and put together a 30 cal of some sort. When I've got points built up in Wyoming, I've got points built up in Colorado. Some of that stuff I've been holding on to as the kids get older and not be away from home. So trying to really build up to one of those once in a lifetime type hunts, right?
So you've been doing some 30 cal research then?
Yeah, and you know, I'm stuck kind of between the good old 300 Winmag, right? Proven performer, lots of ammo available. You could even find it when nobody could find ammo on anything else, right? But man, that 300 PRC looks sweet too. And it's you know, the tolerances on that PRC are so much higher, so your average rifle is going to shoot more accurate based on what I've read. Of course, I'm no expert at it, right?
It's basically the 300 PRC is a modern 300 Winmag. So a 300 PRC overall length is 3.7, and then a 300 Winmag overall length is 3.340.
Okay.
So the standard grain count for a 300 Winmag is around 180 grains, but you can kind of get up to 200 grains. And then a 300 PRC is 212 all the way up to 245, really. So you're getting that longer, sleeker, higher BC bullet.
Okay, so it's going to buck your wind a lot better.
Oh, yeah. Again, it's just like, it's basically a modern 300 Winmag.
Well, because any of them, right? Any of these bullets today shoot 400 yards phenomenally, right? But we live in the West. And when you start talking about like the open canyons behind us here, right? It's unreal how easy it suddenly is to be at 600-800 yards with and have absolutely no option to get closer. You know, you're straight across from an elk. You can't get down and around on them. If you're on the same hillside, you probably couldn't even see them, right? And that's the wind always blows, right? It's always thermals are going up or thermals are going down. So you're always dealing with a 10 plus mile an hour, typically wind of some sort. So, you know, when we talk about our Western hunting out here, it's a different world than what the old .6 was really, you know, used for, right? But of course, my dad grew up killing animals with 270, killed a lot of animals with 270, and
yeah, usually close yardage.
Yeah. They were. My first deer was with a lever action 243 with a 4x scope. You know, that was. Then they moved me to a 7 mag when I was 14. So my parents, you know, my dad loved me. Apparently, you know, here, shoot the 7 mag. You weigh 125 pounds.
Yeah.
This should work well.
I'm tired of that kicking me in the shoulder. You go ahead and take that over.
Hold on.
No break.
Hold on tight.
Yes. Yeah, I killed a lot of stuff with it.
Yeah.
You know, learned how to not flinch, and
So we could involve Ryan in this conversation, but basically all he's going to do is say 6 UM. So we
I would
keep
just
it over
say
here.
that you just stick with that 6.5 PRC. You don't need a 300. But go back to the question you had, because I've been asking people this because I keep, not just you, this is just a thing that I hear all the time. Oh, I'd get a 300 Winmag because I could find it on the shelf. Have you ever needed to find any ammo on the shelf in a pinch?
I haven't.
Nobody that I've ever now we're in the hundreds.
We do hear this often though.
In the hundreds. I would really like a speak pipe if you needed to buy off the shelf ammo on a hunt because you ran out, or people say, oh, the airlines lost my ammo. Well, they lost your ammo. They probably lost your fucking rifle too. Yeah. So I want to hear from the people that have had to buy ammo.
Well, this comes down to like being a good hunter in preparation. It'd be like saying, have you ever had to buy a brand new pair of boots the day before your hunt?
He's been a guide. I'm guaranteeing he's seen people.
I'm just saying, it comes to a matter of preparation.
Yeah, but anyways. If I was choosing between those two, it'd be the PRC, no question.
He killed an elk himself, 6.5 PRC, 147, 906. I killed the bull in Montana at 840 with a 6.5 with a 156 burger.
Nice, yeah.
So we have several extended range.
My friend's daughters have killed probably 8 to 10 bulls with
6.5 Psalm, 147,
nice. All with 140. Plenty of rifle.
Yeah,
no.
That's my son is he has killed 3 for 3 with elk, and it's the 156 UL, right?
Yeah,
that's a good bullet.
What were the distances on those?
So first elk was at like 230. The second elk was at only like 180, 200. But last year's bull, the cow he shot last year was at 340. Okay. But the couple weeks before, he'd shot a buck at 430 or so.
Nice.
I mean, it's just
what's the rifle setup?
So the gun that we're shooting there is actually a Divide custom gun out of Salmon, Idaho up there. So yeah.
What's his name again?
Oh, no.
Starts with a T? No. Divide gun.
Yeah.
I've seen him.
Salmon, Idaho.
I don't know who they are.
I see him at the Hunt Expo.
Divide Rifles.
It's Divide Gun Company,
Todd.
I think. Todd.
I
knew it was
a T.
Yeah. I was
Todd
blanking
Walkley. Walkley, something like that.
And he's a fantastic guy, and he is a nut when it comes to dividing. That was the first gun I've ever shot where I literally, when we sighted in at 100 yards, I couldn't tell where I was hitting because the bullets all stacked so close on top of each other. Like, he does really good work. It's been super happy with it, but once in a while you get the itch to do something. Try something new. That Divide is not going anywhere. That gun will never ever leave my safe or leave my hands as far as ownership unless my son tries to steal it.
Is it suppressed?
It is not suppressed. No.
You plan on going suppressed with the next one?
I don't know. I've kind of argued back and forth with myself on the weight and the length differences. It is a 20-inch barrel with a muzzle brake on it, so it's short, so it would be an easy to suppress gun. I just haven't gone that route yet. I can't hear what crap anyways, so I mean, too many years of shooting that 7 mag had to put a brake on it because again, I was a young kid.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure I'm permanently deaf in this year from shooting a lot of rounds for that.
Yeah, you can always lose more. I argued this with Jake forever, and he's coming around to the suppressor side.
I just built one with a suppressor.
Once you start, you're never going back.
That's what I'm afraid of, actually.
I'll tell you what it was for me. It was when everybody's lined up. You got 4 dudes lined up with rifles about to shoot at a herd of elk that are 700 yards away. And you shoot suppressed and the motherfuckers run towards you. I'm not even lying. How many times have you shot at an elk and had them run towards you?
Never.
Never, because you're brake.
Yep.
When you shoot suppressed, it is no shit. And people, I heard stories beforehand, but until you experience it in person.
I've probably had 10 to 15 animals run towards me when I shot at them.
Yep.
Shot them with
4 guys shooting suppressed rifles, and all the elk ran right to us. We in fact got another 2 elk because they ran towards us.
And it saves for your son. It saved me from divorce because bear hunting with my wife does not want to lose any hearing. And I'm like you, as military, basically deaf, shot him my whole life. And talking at a bear bait is not like the greatest thing when it's 80 yards, 100 yards. And she'd be like double plugged up and like, what? And having the can just totally took.
So being able to whisper at your kids,
yeah.
Knowing that they're hearing what you're saying and all that good stuff is.
Yes. It should at least give it a shot.
There are a lot of downfalls. Like I could sit here and build you a giant negative stack on why I wouldn't shoot suppressed, but it's this the few small reasons greatly outweigh
the
all the
positives.
negatives.
Yeah.
So, the extended length on your barrel, well, shorten your barrel up. The extra weight, well, you just cut off 6 inches of barrel. You're replacing it with 9 ounces of suppressor. It's actually lighter. There's all these different things you can argue in both ways, but shooting suppressed is something else.
It is. It's, I have they built me a 33XC and I'm sitting there yesterday going, how can I fucking get this suppressed enough where it just doesn't kick the fucking bejesus out of me?
It's just too much.
But I think there's a way. I think there's a way.
What grain bullet are you shooting out of that?
300 grain. And it's a 24-inch short barrel for what it is. 24-inch barrel is doing 3,100.
Yeah, dude. The 300 at 3,100, it's coming. There's a lot of recoil.
Yeah, that's more than just a push. That's a full-on snap.
Well, I
slam.
I blew up a couple of suppressors. So AB suppressor sent me one. And the problem is it's not big enough to do everything I need. But, man, that thing's taken probably 50, 60 shots now. Maybe even more than that. It hasn't blown up yet. But
so what about the rest of your build then? So you're looking for basically a long Magnum 30 cal.
Yeah, that's
what about the rest of it?
Of course, I'm trying to build something in that 6 pound range, right? To where it's
not 6 pounds scoped.
Yeah, 6 pounds pre-scope.
Yeah,
naked.
You're naked. Because I want it light enough to still be enjoyable to carry, if you would, but still settle down and be able to shoot accurately, right?
Most of our builds nowadays end up right around the 8 to 9 pound mark.
Is that with scope?
With scope and rings.
Yeah. A light and Tika you guys have, the one is like 6.1.
Okay. Yeah.
Right in there. Last one you guys built for me.
Yeah.
So be right in that ballpark. So you have a muzzleloader tag. Did you try to swoop in and get a out of state?
I didn't.
For archery?
I withheld from it so that I could spend, because this is all pending second chance draws don't change my whole plan for September. We've been up scouting, looking at elk with my son. The plan is he's 13 years old. He's pulling 50 pounds. He's shooting really, really well up to 30 yards. He shoots further than that, but like I'm confident for him for hunting to shoot at 30 yards. To focus on trying to get a bull close enough for him during September. That's the goal, right? He of course is dreaming of some 340, 360 type giant. I really just hope that something like a nice 200, 220 class 5 point comes in wanting to absolutely kick my butt and lands in our lap.
Ryan doesn't shoot him under 340. They could be 339. He's passing.
We talked when we
then
talking.
He doesn't
earlier,
hunt public land Idaho very much.
He does. He just goes really deep.
Like Wyoming, I shot a bull last year and who measures 338 or 342. And it's not that I have like this standard because I don't want to shoot. I'll shoot a cow before I shoot a 280 inch bull, but I've shot a lot of 300 inch bulls, a lot of 300 inch bulls. So it's like, I'd rather just shoot a cow, let that dude live, get a little bigger. And I just want the tag. I also try to buy all my out of state tags so the Utards and Washingtonians can't buy them. So I fucking try to buy extra tags, just even if I don't even hunt it.
Yeah.
Just so let that animal live on the landscape, because they're just going to come over and whack a forky or a little 3x4 bull. So anyways, that's a whole nother topic. Does your son, like I've seen this, growing up, he's done it with the rifle now. Is he like hooked on is it hard to get him to bow hunt sometimes, or is he hooked into the bow side?
He's hooked on the get outside side.
Oh, good.
He's one of those that we love to shed hunt. And then like this weekend, just scouting, right? He running around the hills with the spotting scope on his pack and, just taking that XO for a walk to be able to find animals. We saw one decent buck in that 140, 150 range, nice 4x5, solid, public land, Idaho, mountain deer. Saw some elk. We've got a good plan for opener. Last year I called a bull in for him. He was only shooting like 43 pounds, 42 pounds. He was just above that 40 pound Idaho limit. So we had him limited at literally, like I told him, 20 yards. That is the absolute max, right? That because I wanted to make sure that the arrow had good penetration. And we called a 5x5 in for him to 39 yards. And I got cool video of him, being on full draw and the bull coming in and standing there looking at us. So I think he's super excited to try the archery side of things. He is looking for any excuse to be out there, right?
That's not normal in
no
this day and age.
No, he little story was when he was 10 years old, we went on what we call the shed hunt from hell. And I had this spot where I'd watched a bunch of bulls winter up in a basin way back up in. It was 6.5 miles up, and it was 3,400 foot of gain.
And he's how old?
He was 10 at the time.
Oh.
So that morning, we're getting ready to head up, right? We're trying to get up, head up this into there real early in the morning. I let him pick what he wanted for breakfast from the night before from a gas station, right? He picked Cinnabon, right? He wanted cinnamon roll. So he has a cinnamon roll that morning. I'm like, okay, whatever. We got
That's a good fuel source.
Yeah, we got Peaks for dinner. We got all these different bars and all that fun stuff for the rest of the day. So we make it like a mile, and we're about like 1,000 foot, 1,200 foot up, because the first initial pull to get up the first face is, of course, the steepest part. And we're up there, and he ends up throwing up. I'm like, oh boy, okay, we're probably done. He's like, no, we're good. So we keep going. We make another like mile, maybe 1.5 miles. I think we were right at the 3 mile mark. The rest of it vacates his system, right? And he's drinks some water. And he calls it good. We go all the way in, right? We're in there that night. We can't find any sheds. This is a wilderness area, and we find some 4-wheeler tracks off trail where somebody had been obviously just riding around across country looking for stuff, which that's a whole different story. I was a little infuriated by that.
Sucks.
That night he doesn't eat very well, so I'm like, oh, I was worried about this. Next day we go, we shed hunt, we still don't find anything. He finds one little deer forky shed with like moss growing on it. It's so old, right? Mm-hmm. We have no water. We can't find any water up there. We found one little snow patch left. We literally melted as much as that as we could, and filtered after we melted it, and got enough water to get out, to make some dinner that night, and then go out the next day. And it was awful. But yeah, that was him at 10 years old. Mm-hmm. So now he's 13 and like almost 5'5", long legs. And that kid just will climb mountains so dang fast that it's
nice.
It's hard to he's got a real love of the mountains, and started him at a real young age. And I put a lot of time and effort into it, and it's paid off. He's gonna, I've told him multiple times that he's gonna be a lot better hunter and outdoorsman than mm-hmm. I ever.
Hell yeah, starting been. Early like that.
Yeah, he's
nice.
So excited, really excited. He's got a late season muzzleloader tag, so he's super excited to try to kill a big mule deer late.
Yeah.
Because everything he's gotten has been, forkies, 2x3s, mm-hmm. Stuff like that. So he's excited for a good season.
Good deal. We're about to do our second weekly Inside the Campfire. Is that right?
That is ready. Here is the story behind it, I think. Hold on, let me get to the right screen. Got too many buttons. Here is the around.
There's like 2 buttons.
Dude, there is.
It's like A or B.
I got to back out of the screen to see the screen. Motherfucker. Here is the second edition of Campfire, Around the Campfire. Can't even get the fucking name right.
Look at you over there coordinating.
Trying to get this down. Hello, are you on the phone with us?
Hey, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Son of a bitch, we had the mic turned down.
It was button B.
It was down. Cody.
There we go. Yes, sir.
We've fucked this up really well, but you're the second Around the Campfire on the Shoot2Hunt podcast. So tell us your story, sir.
Okay. Well, couple of years ago, I was in Nebraska archery hunting whitetails with my good buddy of mine, Thomas. And he's a little bit taller than me, which turns out to be relevant to this story. I'm kind of a short, squatty guy, and we're scouting. Yeah, you and I are kindred spirits, I think, as far as that goes. But so we're bouncing around from place to place, and Nebraska has what they call open fields and water, which is privately owned land that's accessible to the public. Kansas has what they call WEHA, walking hunter access, that type of stuff. So we're bouncing around these different sections scouting for deer. And of course, everyone is fenced in with barbed wire, and some of them are hot fences. Well, we pull up to this place and immediately realize that there's a hot fence to cross, to go over, to go into and scout. Well, my buddy Thomas, we kind of stand there for a second, and he goes, "You want to touch it?" And I said, "I don't know. Do you want to touch it?" And I said, "Well, whatever, I'll touch it." So I touched the top strand, and it wasn't hot. He goes, "All right, cool."
So big balls.
So he goes, "Well, I'm glad you said that." He goes up and over the fence, no problem, right? Well, like I said, he's a little bit taller than me. In the middle of me crossing, I'm in the middle of saying, that it doesn't make sense for them to have this fence hot if they're going to allow public access, right? And I don't even get the sentence out. And I'm shifting my weight from my left foot to my right foot as I go up and over. And I just get hammered straight in the nuts.
Oh, no.
And like I said, I'm a little bit shorter than him, and he went up and over and only had to touch the top strand. Well, I didn't think about checking the second strand down, and the second strand was hot. And I learned the hard way.
I picture Jurassic Park when the kid is up on the fence when they light the fence up.
Yeah,
the T-Rex predator.
Oh God, yeah. No. Thankfully, it wasn't quite that bad, but I felt it for the next half hour or so.
So your advice for the next hunter behind you would be
check all strands of the fence. You don't think you can get over without touching it? Check every strand. That would be my advice. Yeah. Fortunately, we were just scouting, and I had blue jeans on, which are a little bit thicker. If I'd have had my hunting pants on, it probably would have hurt a little bit worse.
You wouldn't have been having no kids.
Well, that's the obvious question there, right? And I'm 40 and all that's behind me, but
right.
everything does still work properly. So.
Did you scream?
It was a lot of cursing and some grunting and some rolling around on the ground after I bailed off of it. We'd have to ask Thomas how high pitch or not the scream was.
Did you have to have your wife check when you got home to make sure everything looked intact?
Yeah.
I definitely milked that a little bit. I knew everything was okay, but hey, when an opportunity presents
That's
itself,
right.
you know what I mean?
You need to get down there and check operations.
Yeah, exactly. Let's make sure everything is still up to par with all this here.
I don't want to try to one up your story, but I got a kind of a story like that. I had a friend named Jesse, and we always would cut these fields to go to his house when we leave high school, or actually it was junior high, and we'd go across and they'd put the cattle out, or they'd put them out there, and they'd turn the fences on. So I kind of had the inkling that it may be on one day, and I wanted to be mess with Jesse. So I and it shocked me. I was like, I just said, "Oh no, it's not on." So then I said, "Go ahead, go across." And he stuck his leg over and fucking got zapped on
right
the
at the bottom.
And he's kind of his mid thigh. He got lit up. He's like, "I'm never fucking trusting you again, ever."
Yeah. You broke the trust circle there for sure.
Yes.
Yep. Well, that's an awesome story. We appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a big fan of the show. Yeah, I've learned a lot listening to you. I've got a rock stock on order. I'm building a couple Tikas right now. I've learned a lot listening to you, and I appreciate the opportunity to come on.
Nice. Well, we'll get you a shirt and a hat out there. What size are you?
Oh, I'm between a 1X and a 2X, depending on what I eat for breakfast. So.
Okay.
Well, now you say squatty. I got to know the stats. Like how tall, how fat. Come on, we got to know.
Tall, how fat?
I'm 5'9", 230.
Twinsies. Twinsies.
Twinsies.
We'll have Ryan try the shirt on first.
Yeah,
for
I'll
you
try
then.
your shirt on first. So if you see that chest hair. It's a chest hair, not a pube.
Hey, that's all good.
He might even autograph it.
That'd be perfect. That'd be perfect.
Hey, I'll put from one squatty body to another.
There you go.
Oh, well, Cody,
Yeah, I'm giving you a long range fist bump here, Ryan.
There you go.
Hey, us short guys got to stick together.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks for the call, sir.
Thank you, guys.
Have a good day.
You too. Bye.
That was a good story.
Dude, that was the last one was good. This one was far better.
Yes.
And no, talking smack to the other person, but anytime you get shocked and hurt, that's always the best scenario.
Emily, make sure we take down his size or get him a shirt and a hat.
You can't hear you.
Oh, she can't hear us yet.
I'm putting her back on. You have any horror stories in the field?
Electric fence stories.
You asked. This is a great opportunity to introduce my hunting partner, Mark.
Nice.
And a particular antelope experience that he will probably never forget. We're out archery antelope hunting, spot stock, and we spot this buck, and he's bedded up kind of on this little hillside. So we glassed him, we drive way around, get to this fence. He goes over there, he hops over the fence, no problem. Goes up there, wind shifts, boom, buck gone. I'm watching through spotting scope from ways away, and I'm like, okay. So I go rolling over there to, come get him. Apparently he got lucky the first time he went over that fence, because we're talking open range, miles long, hot wire, right? Not a little tick, tick, tick one. It's a wham.
Yes.
And he was coming back to the truck. He steps over the fence and he puts it down just like he is. He got mid stride. It hit him. And I watched him literally levitate in that fence, come off it, and flop on the ground, right? And I'm like, huh. And he gets up and he's, whoa. And he limps his way over. And it whacked him when he came off top. I never seen him jump so high. I didn't know he had those kind of athletic abilities. But yeah, it was the most memorable antelope experience that I have. I mean, I've killed some nice bucks, stuff like that, but that is definitely the one that stands out the most.
I don't know what it is. I've been shocked by plenty of electrical fences, and it's not fun.
No.
And then
it is for everybody watching.
It is. And then we've even been dumb enough to try to pee on them. Also not fun.
I think generally an electric fence is it DC current?
It's not like some are on batteries, like where I have the mules now. They just have a battery powered one.
Yeah, I think that's DC.
It's DC, but
the DC is the worst one.
Where I had the, it's not terrible. But
because DC, when you hit it, like they actually, there's like stupid questions like that. Would you rather grab a wire with AC or DC? Well, DC never stops. It's just one direction. Whereas AC, because it reverses polarity, it allows you to let go.
I know that I've been zapped by that one where we have the mules, and it may just be a power thing.
Yeah.
And then where I had the goats at Kelly's house was direct.
Okay.
And holy fuck.
Yeah.
Kick your butt.
Yeah, it's probably just the power on the DC version.
Like I feel like it burning your hand off.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not true, because it's almost like when you grab that DC one, it's almost like I couldn't let go.
You can't. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
AC you can let go because it interrupts itself. It's reversing polarity.
And those are the ones I think they go tick, tick, tick.
Mm-hmm.
Or the AC.
That's the
ones.
AC.
Yeah. I don't know. It's fun to. Electricity's fun. Ask Biden.
Yeah.
Electrical. Well, you know the thing.
The thing.
Yes. Well, that's awesome. I hope you guys continue to grow, and I hope Facebook doesn't say one day, we're getting out of the hunting. What I don't understand about all this is it's legal.
Mm-hmm.
I would say a couple million Americans do it.
Yep.
And you're just going to turn that voice off. It makes zero sense.
Well, and honestly, for us, one of the biggest benefits has been this whole organic push by so many people to get healthy, especially in the last 10 years. So it's created a whole new line of people who never hunted, parents maybe didn't ever hunt, who are now looking for clean, organic meat for their family, right? And suddenly, especially whitetails over east become a much more viable source. And most of the people that I guided were all eastern whitetail hunters, right? Because they grew up, they're whitetail hunting, they love it, they enjoy this, but man, they're reading the magazines, right? And they're seeing pictures as elk country and what it is. So it becomes elk, becomes this dream of theirs, right? And while the population continues to grow, the amount of hunters that we have in the industry itself continues to grow.
I've never dreamed of sitting in a deer stand freezing my ass off.
No, that doesn't seem like a good time to me.
I've done it. I told you I did it after I had a vasectomy the day before. Yeah, sat in a stand waiting to shoot an elk.
At least it kept the swelling down a little bit.
No, fuck no.
The cold?
No, it wasn't that cold. It was miserable. Oh. And they say take it easy. I was like, I'm fucking fine. And you sat there with that, cold seat sitting on your sack. And I went to get up and it felt like my balls just stayed there. Oh, there's a fucking problem.
Now I got to try to get back down this damn ladder and this is not good.
You remember Joe Dirt?
Yeah.
The dog got his fucking nuts. Yeah.
It was a thing. But anyways, I've shot a couple elk out of tree stand. And I've shot a couple deer out of tree stand, and it's just not my cup of tea.
No, I mean, give me a bunch of ridges and bowls and some bugles, and man, I'll just spend all day long just running, just trying to get close. It's what I love, right? That's the reason I started Elk Addicts, not Deer Addicts or Duck Addicts or anything like that, right? I love to elk hunt, and that's everybody's got their thing.
Yeah, and all joking aside about mule deer, whitetail, elk, I don't care what you do, is you're passionate about it. That's all. I mean, the hunting industry is driven by passionate people that want to keep these animals on the mountain. And as soon as you put value to something, that animal usually thrives. And whatever that animal is, just get behind one of them and go kill them.
No, exactly. I mean, right? Where would conservation be today without hunters? There'd be nothing, right? Management through hunting is what has brought back turkeys and whitetail and elk in these different, states where they never.
Ryan loves turkeys.
Yeah. Your favorite?
When I was growing up, like I said, I've pretty much been here my whole life and we didn't have turkeys. And I swear I went in the army and it was like late 90s. I came back early 2000s and fucking turkeys were everywhere. It was the bizarrest thing.
I remember the first time I saw turkey as a kid up by Riggins. And it was the first turkey I'd ever seen in the wild. It was crazy, right? And I was like, holy cow, a turkey. And now, I mean, that you talk about an animal that is, prolificating rapidly across the state. I'm seeing them, all over the place now. And it's cool. I mean, the whitetail in Idaho, that continues to grow, right? I'd never seen one when I was a kid, except for a few around Riggins or a few up north here, right? Like I'd see them up north, but you didn't see them in Garden Valley or McCall. Now I've seen them over by Mackay, Idaho, and they're all over Garden Valley, and they're continuing to rapidly grow in places that never seen them when 15, 20 years ago. It's
whitetails they're hard. They're like wild hogs. They're just hard to put down.
Yeah,
which is a good thing. But they'll push mule deer right out of their habitat because they're a little more aggressive.
Well, and there's unfortunately a lot of good mule deer habitat anymore that we don't seem to have enough deer to even have deer there. Right? I mean, that's the challenge. For my job, I cover Montana. There's deer everywhere there. Come here and see the same country and don't see maybe a doe, right? So what's the difference, right? That's the challenge. But
well, thanks for coming on. We're way over an hour, but what's your end goal? Elk Addicts, what's the future look like?
Just continue trying to help people find success in the field, no matter what their success looks like, right? Some people's success is just getting elk hunting, right? Because they've never been. Some people, their success is just seeing an elk, right? Some people, it's a certain size that they're shooting for. And that's what it's all about, right? Being able to share information, talk with people. I really enjoy, I get the opportunity to talk to a lot of people and discuss tactics and what's working for me to help them find success. And when they reach out after and have had success, man, that right there is what it was all about, right there. When they take something that they learned from Instagram or Facebook, from Elk Addicts, and go find success. That's what it's about.
ElkAddicts.com?
The only website's elkaddictsstore.com.
ElkAddictsstore.com.
But on Instagram, easily reach. I'm the one running the Instagram. If you got questions or people have questions about elk hunting or tactics, reach out. I will talk your ear off when it comes to elk hunting. That's
perfect.
All right. Thanks for coming on, Chris.
Appreciate it, guys.
Sir.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for listening.